Premise: all persons who worry are people who live in the future. Premise 2: all persons who plan ahead are people who live in the future. Conclusion: all persons who plan ahead are persons who worry. Is this a valid or invalid argument? Does the conclusion follow from the premises? You might be able to just think about it and reason what makes sense for the argument, whether it's valid or not, but let's actually show whether it's valid or not using an Euler diagram. So with that, we'll make a circle that is a subset of another circle, and using the first premise where it says all persons who worry are people who live in the future. So we'll have our subset be people who worry and our larger subset be people who live in the future, since the people who worry are also people who live in the future. The people who worry are a subset of the people who live in the future. And then the second premise says all persons who plan ahead are people who live in the future. So they just have to be, people who plan ahead has to be in this subset of people that live in the future. So it could be here, it could be that all people who plan ahead are here. It could be also in the subset of people that worry, or it could be here. Some of them may be people that worry, and some may live in the future. So the conclusion is all persons who plan ahead are persons who worry. Well, all we need to do to decide whether this is valid or not is to see if we have a contradiction to the conclusion. And yes, we do, because both these two examples represent contradictions to the conclusion. If all people who plan ahead are people that live in the future, but not in this subset of people that worry, then here there are people that live in the future and plan ahead but do not worry. And again, here this has some people, if plan ahead is here, then there are some people that plan ahead and live in the future but do not worry. So there exists the possibility of people who plan ahead, live in the future, and do not worry. Since there exist such people that do not worry, this is a contradiction to the conclusion, therefore the argument is not valid.